Okay, so in this video we're going to talk about the difference between a regular spark plug, a platinum spark plug, and an iridium spark plug. So scenario, you're young, you buy your first car, it's probably not going to be a new car, it's probably going to be a used car, and it's probably not going to be the best car out there. So, and when you buy a used car, this is just a scenario, one of the easiest things you can do to get better performance and better gas mileage out of it is to change the spark plug. It's called a tune-up. And you need to do this every so often on your car anyway, but this show is about teaching the younger generation things specifically I want to be able to teach my kids that they need to know. So you buy a car, you want to change the spark plugs, it's good maintenance anyway, and you go to the store, you look at, there's numerous brands and they're all different price ranges. So first, let's just start at the beginning. What is a spark plug? So if you're watching this video, you probably already know, but let's just start from the beginning for guys just trying to learn this for the first time. In the simplest terms, a spark plug, it's a device that ignites the gasoline inside your engine. This is typically how they're sold. This is a pack of 4. So they each come in just a regular or individual box like this. And basically, electricity goes in this side. This little section right here is grounded. It's insulated with a ceramic coating. I don't know what you call that part. And we know that electricity will spark. It will arc. That is when 2 wires, or whatever, in this case, 2 little metal probes, are not touching each other, and the electricity will arc from one side to the other. It's one of the things that makes electricity dangerous out there in the wild. So to put it in perspective, the electricity in your house is typically 110 volts, 120 in some areas, and the most for like a washer and dryer or a stove is going to be 220 volts. When you get above 300 volts, first, you're not going to find that inside any house. This is, you'll find this in commercial applications. My father was an industrial electrician, so I got to hear about all this growing up. Anyway, when you get past 300 volts, that's when normal atmospheric pressure, that's when electricity becomes dangerous and can start to arc. Now, your typical spark plug, one like this, most of your regular cars are going to operate between 20 and 40,000 volts. That is a lot. That's going to cause a little arc to come from this tip to this tip when electricity is forced through it. Now, when you get into, I had to look this up, say a Formula 1 car is operating at about 60,000 volts. When you have a performance engine that has substantially higher compression, a richer mixture of gas, which means it has more gasoline per oxygen, you need a higher voltage in these things to ignite the gas. So, side note, if you're the new guy and you're ever working around, say, a diesel engine, and the guys tell you to go locate the spark plugs on a diesel engine, they are messing with you. Diesel engine operates under compression, not a spark. So just, if you ever hear that, don't go looking for the spark plugs on a diesel engine. Other guys will have a good laugh at your expense. Now, typically, most consumer engines are going to have 1 spark plug per cylinder. You have a 4-cylinder, 6-cylinder, V6, V8, etc. You're going to have 1 spark plug per cylinder, and that can vary. Commercial engines, bigger engines, performance engines are going to have sometimes, not often, but occasionally you're going to run into, say, an F-350 with, I forget Ford's massive V8 that's usually used for like farm hauling trailers, stuff like that. Those engines have 2 cylinders. You're also going to find 2 spark plugs per cylinder in small aircraft engines. So the engines that typically go in like Cessnas or Pipers, those gasoline engines have 2 spark plugs, and the reason why is redundancy in that point. But you'll also find it in some performance cars. But for the most part, 1 spark plug per engine. So if you got a 4-cylinder engine, 6-cylinder V6 or a V8, whatever, buy 4 spark plugs for your cylinder. Let me try that again. So if you got a 4-cylinder, buy 4 spark plugs. If you got a V6, V8, buy 6 or 8 of these. Now, what's the difference between a normal spark plug, platinum, and iridium? First off, the normal ones. They're going to give you about 20 to 30,000 miles of use, and they cost typically $5 or $6, $7 a piece. I would not buy those. I would not even waste my money on it. What they're made of is a copper coil with a nickel plating on it. The nickel is used because it's non-corrosive, and fine, they work, but when you can spend a few more bucks and get something that's going to last 4 times longer, it's just worth it because you only have to change it out once. So if you spend a little bit more money, you're going to get a platinum spark plug, and the sources vary pretty wildly on this. But if you put in a platinum or an iridium spark plug, you're going to get better gas mileage, and that comes from a stronger ignition. But the sources are just they just get kind of sketchy on that. The biggest boost in your gasoline consumption and your better combustion of the gasoline and your better miles per gallon is going to come from getting rid of an old spark plug and putting a new one in. I've read sources as much as 30%. I don't believe that. I don't see how you could get 30% better gas mileage. But if you've got older spark plugs in your car, you're going to have a rougher running car, and when it gets it's worth doing it. You got to do it when the spark plugs are old. So you spend a little bit extra money, you get a platinum spark plug. It is still a copper coil in the middle, or copper wire in the middle, but the tip of it is coated in platinum. Platinum is much more corrosive resistant than nickel, and it's just going to fire better, and it's going to last longer. Sources I've read are about 60 to 100,000 miles. I've never got one to last 100,000 miles, but 60 or 70,000, yeah, they'll do that all day long. Now, this is the first time I've installed, that I'm going to install, iridium spark plugs. These things are supposed to last 100,000 miles. We'll see. But iridium is a rare earth metal that's in the platinum family, and it's supposed to be even more corrosive resistant than platinum. So I think it's worth the money. This pack cost me $44 on Amazon. A regular, just the cheap ones, cost like $20 or $25. I think it's absolutely worth to spend double the amount. It's not much money, and you only have to do this, if a regular one lasts 20,000 miles and this lasts 100,000 miles, that's a whole lot of work I only have to do 1 time instead of 5 times. So I think it's absolutely worth spending the extra money on this. Another thing I would tell you is when you buy these, buy them pre-gapped. I've done a lot of mechanic work in my life, and I have never been able to get the gapping just right. And when we say gap, it means the gap between this little electrode on the tip and this thing on top. It is millimeters. So just a little bit, dropping it would affect or could affect it. So you can buy these. You can save a couple of bucks by buying just a blank box and gapping them yourself. I do not recommend it. I have never been able to get that gap just right, and the smallest increase or decrease in width is going, or distance is going to affect it. So buy these pre-gapped, and you will save a whole lot of money. So hopefully, I guess in the next video that we do, I'm going to try to get my boys to do this with me, and we're going to change the spark plugs out. It's a relatively easy procedure, and it's worth doing, especially for the gas savings, and you got to do it anyway or pay somebody. It's easy, and it'll save you a lot of money from having to pay a mechanic to do it. So thanks for watching.